Hello and welcome to another Overlord lore video, and today we are going to take a closer look at Ainz Ooal Gown and what makes him such an interesting and compelling protagonist. But before we are going to do so, let me quickly thank my Patreons for supporting this channel, as well as all users of the YouTube thanks function for making one-time donations. And with that said, let's start with the topic, and first and foremost, Ainz is not your average OP isekai protagonist. Don't get me wrong, he's already very OP, but he does not try to get stronger or braver or even amass more power, or to even save this world from some sort of danger. On the contrary, he is the danger. Theoretically, he should be the most boring type of protagonist, since he already is level 100, with no room for any further power increase. But that's precisely what makes Overlord so great. By eliminating this character strengthening, the story can actually focus on his character growth and his character in general, and not the way he gets physically and mentally stronger. The conflict in Overlord is not a conflict of swords, magic, and armies, but it is a psychological conflict that drives the story forward. And George R. R. Martin once has said that the only thing worth writing about is the human heart in conflict with itself, and Ainz is most certainly an example of this. If he was alone, Ainz himself stated, he would just explore this world, from the highest mountain to the deepest depths of the ocean. And he doesn't even want to conquer the world for himself, but did it, ordered to be conquered, by sheer accident. And since so much time has passed, and since his underlings were all diligently working towards this goal, he does not interfere. He does not take his order back, and he does not clear up this misunderstanding, simply because he does not want to disappoint the NPCs. And if the world has to suffer his conquest for their happiness, then Ainz Ooal Gown will just go with it. For while he still cares about the NPCs and the tomb and the memory of his friends and everything else related to them, the world is just a neutral thing. It doesn't matter to him. He's just trying what his NPCs want him to do, or if you want to get a bit more broad, his society demands of him. He's trying to fit in and comply to everyone's expectations, despite knowing that being an all-knowing overlord is way too much to handle for him. And that's the second layer of what makes Overlord so great, for while we know Ainz's thoughts, feelings and anxieties, no one else does. To the wider world and his NPCs, he truly is the Overlord Mastermind, the exalted spectre of death, commanding legions of monsters and undead, taking whatever he wants, ruling however he pleases, with no one to stop him. And neither the anime nor the novels shy away from portraying a truly uncaring overlord, who already has lost what part of his humanity and consciousness would normally keep him from attacking and killing. And he only clings to the last vestiges of his former human life, in the form of the NPCs, or rather the children of his dear, dear friends. And the anime and the light novels show the consequences of every action of every actor, sometimes graphically, sometimes mentally haunting. Be it Arche, who would otherwise have stopped her work as a black market adventurer and tried to take care of her little sisters. Be it the King of Rheestes, whom's nation would held be accountable for the mistakes of a minor noble. Be it Nea, who lost her parents thanks to Ainz Ooal Gown's invasion and now worships the murderers of her family as an extension of Ainz Ooal Gown, as justice. Or be it Jerknef, who is seen as a fellow isolated and lonely soul like Ainz by himself, someone who too lacks friends and a peer group due to his exalted status, while Jerknef is fearing Ainz as this unknowable mastermind, always 10 steps ahead of him and everyone else. Or be it Ainz himself, who, even before being transported into the new world, has already made the mistake of slightly changing albedo in order to be madly in love with him, something that haunts him and might ultimately even destroy the Great Tomb of Nezarec at the very end. This series has high stakes, but not in the traditional sense, that we have to fear for the unlife of Ainz Ooal Gown, but basically for the life of everyone else around him. And this is a very smart way to write conflict in a story, because it is very unlikely that the protagonist of, let's say, Naruto would die in the midst of the season, simply because he's the protagonist. However, if we are made to care and feel for the others around him, death is far more likely, which makes it far more interesting. And this is the final strength of Overlord. Its incredibly rich world building and great side characters, be it Nea Baraya, be it Arche, some of the lizard men, or even just Enri. These small, insignificant lives matter to us, and most of the time not to Ainz, meaning that their lives are constantly at stake because they are just one of many souls in this world. And Overlord does not shy away from ending the lives of popular and beloved characters. And even this is not the end-all be-all, since Ainz could at least potentially cast resurrection magic, but as he has shown during the funeral of Enri's parents, during his visit in the Holy Kingdom, or during his revenge for the Swords of Darkness, Ainz does not care for humans anymore and won't bring them back out of attachment, meaning while not even death is the end, resurrection magic isn't some sort of savior, but something used very sparsely and very deliberately. It's the exception to the rule. And with that said, I hope you now have a clearer and better understanding why Overlord has so much tension in its story, despite Ainz Ooal Gown being already level 100, so maxed level, and never being, aside from some exceptions, in danger. And with that said, I also say my special thanks to Ada Daddy Ada, Bad Guy Yi, Bad Burrito 316, Beezer, Ben C, Brandon D, Chrissy, Crowley 0221, Sia, Crystal Prime, Dead Slime, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Demon Xenomorph 1987, Devin Downen, Ding Dong, Duckwagon, Dunkler Krieger, Dystopia, Dystopia II, Enigmatic Unicorn, Ferrachivan, Guy with That Head, Hector Marino, Hoss, Huster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, J. Morris, Chromius, Kyle R, Lee K. Long, Legendarius, Lelouch Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Loverazor, Merovec, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, Nope, Oh Hell No, Normal Toad, Okill, Overlord General Gasper, Paddy Pantom, Personage, Primus 11, Rhinomere, Q&A Caracos P, Cher Gox's Daddy, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Super Tier Magic Batista Bomb, Supreme Cheese, Staris, Ted, Texas Deer, The Orc Warboss, Rock Ed Smasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Vegito 27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, Xenokai, and Zonagon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon on my next video.